We are surrounded by serialized art, from a film series with 7 sequels to a book series with 20 entries, from a television show where zombies tear people limb from limb to a band or musical artist's 3 concept album arc. The possibilities are endless. Thus, this is something serial.
2 things. Is Die Another Day literally the worst James Bond movie ranked? Yes or no?
Ranked? Yes.
Yes. You think so?
I think so. For me, I don't think it is. No, it is. Next question.
Okay. Is On Her Majesty's Secret Service number 1?
No. Casino Royale is, for me. And I think ranked among regular goers would probably say Skyfall.
Really?
I think classic-wise, I'd say Goldfinger.
I just read a list of the top of Bond movies ranked by Reader's Digest, sent to me by my sister.
Oh, boy.
And I was actually just finishing an email because I ended up like reading it and ranking it and being like, this is dumb. Mm-hmm. Because it was like, it was ridiculous. They put Skyfall ahead of Casino Royale, which
Wrong.
I thought was odd. Yeah, I was like, okay. It was just dumb. I hated it. It was dumb. It was like Die Another Day.
Send it to me.
I will. I'll forward it to you right now. I don't care. 1 sec. I'll do it literally right now. Watch this.
And I'll tell the people. Hey, so thanks for choosing to spend some time with the Kerrit podcast. I'm Kevin. And that's my co-host, Gerrit.
Gerrit, yes.
And we make up the Kerrit.
Uh-huh. How do you forward? I can't. Oh, I don't know how to forward.
You can just take the link and copy it and paste it. God,
I don't want. I mean, I can, but I just fine. I'll do that. It's just stupid because in my work email, I can forward things immediately, and I'm not used to it on Gmail, so I don't know quite where the exact number, where the blah, blah, blah is. I don't know.
So I'm going to read this great thing about James Bond. If you guys are listening, make sure you write a review. That would be great. And if you're watching, make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. That would be great. I can actually look at the info, whatever, and see who's watching it and who's not subscribed. And literally, I think it's 90% of people are not subscribed. So if you subscribe and then ring that little bell for notifications, you can find out every time there's a new video.
You're not allowed to say those things. I've ixnayed those.
I just goddamn did.
I thought when I said it, it was a joke.
I don't care, man. I mean, we gotta have people watch our
That's fine.
reviews of Batman.
Yeah, which is what's up next. But I did send it to you. I don't know if you want to do it right now or at all.
I mean, we can do that before we hit. Tell the kids what we're doing on the pod today.
Yeah, we're talking about Batman Forever, the best Batman movie of all time.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
I'm just happy that we got a new face in the White House. Good God.
You know, Trump is not forever, and you know what is, though?
Batman.
That's right.
Forever.
Let's talk about this.
I will. I love this movie. I fucking love this movie. This is a movie I can watch a lot. Okay, I'll start. I'm just going to throw things out there.
Okay.
A couple things. Chris O'Donnell's kind of awesome in this movie.
Wrong.
For one thing. Yes, he is. Okay, we'll put that aside. Let's do some easy ones. Val Kilmer's amazing. He's an underrated dude in general, and he's perfect in this part.
I agree with that.
Great. Joel Schumacher, out of nowhere, is perfect as a director for this movie. He had not done any big budget movies prior to this. At that time, he was famous for like the John Grisham movies, which is so weird to me. Mm-hmm. Because, oh man, I'm trying to think of some of his earlier directorial efforts, and the only one that's coming to mind is that
Time
Lily
to Kill
Tomlin movie. No, not that one. It's The Incredible Shrinking Woman, I think.
I never saw that.
I saw it a long time ago. I mean, it's fine. It's a comedy, obviously. But it's just so weird to me that this dude who he's made some pretty flamboyant Batman movies, and yet some of the most well-known movies he's known for are like A Time to Kill and The Client.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the hell? What's going on here?
He's known for destroying Batman.
He's Two-Face.
That's his legacy. Yeah,
and he knows it.
It's so weird because, like, watching this movie, you mentioned it on the last, the Batman Returns one that we did, but the last episode that we recorded, it was the election night one. But you talked about Batman Forever and the credits. Like, the credits coming at you.
Right.
And
Superman style.
Yeah, Superman style. The moment that started, I was just like, okay, we're definitely in for something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tempering my expectations because I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if it's going to be, well executed, because I'm trying to really, like, see it with fresh eyes. Because I had all the things up in my head about, like, what I thought about it because of, the Joel Schumacher curse and all that stuff. And then I'm watching the credits and I see a Tim Burton production, and I'm like, okay, so he's still got his hand in the ring.
He does.
I think that my assumption of this is the original Batman sequel. You know what I mean? This isn't Batman Returns territory. This is going to be Batman, like, 89.
Yeah.
And watching this movie, I think it really... I think I'm right. I think it's a sequel to that.
I think it's definitely acknowledges for sure that trajectory of storyline in the first two, I would say. At least just the fact that he's Batman, and I think they actually explicitly reference it, right?
They do. There's a reference to Catwoman.
I don't blend in at a family picnic.
Oh, we could give it a try. I'll bring the wine. You bring your scarred psyche.
Direct, aren't you?
You like strong women. I've done my homework. Or do I need skin-tight vinyl and a whip?
I haven't had that much luck with women.
Maybe you just haven't met the right woman.
I saw the signal. What's going on?
Nothing. False alarm.
Are you sure?
It's to Catwoman. Meridian, or Chase Meridian, she says it. Nicole Kidman. She's in it. She's great. It's really funny to see, because it's the same. They took the Superman thing again, where Lois is in love with Superman, and she's battling between Superman and Clark Kent, like she can't decide, kind of thing.
Right.
And Nicole Kidman's in love with Batman, and then she ends up choosing Bruce, and you're like, oh, they're gonna go off together. This is great. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I have to just also say one of the fun things about their scenes together is there's that, like, saxophone in the background that's it's so
corny, but it works for this movie.
It works for the movie. It does, because they're not going overt with it. It's the opposite with Batman and Robin. They do the same thing where
with Poison Ivy.
Robin's about to do the yes, exactly. It's so much funnier. I know, that's what
plastic lips.
Oh man, I just love this movie. There are a couple things though that are kind of ridiculous. Like, I gotta say,
there are a lot of things that are ridiculous, and I cannot wait to talk about them.
It's so weird how ridiculous it is, but it's also there are so many moments that are, like, kind of awesome at the same time. I'm going to be bouncing around a lot because I haven't watched it in a while. So here's an awesome moment for you. When Batman is trying to get sorry, my phone beeped. I don't know if you heard that. So here's the badass moment. First of all, I need to hear how you feel about Robin. I love Robin in this movie. He's awesome. Robin is a hard character to do well. They've only tried it twice, live action. The second time was awful because they retreaded ground already.
What was the other? What were the times that they did Robin?
Only two. It was Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. So Batman and Robin was terrible.
Oh no! I mean, well, they also did Robin with the original Adam West, though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's true. And they kind of did with Dark Knight Rises with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I don't know how much that counts, but actually, technically, he's in Batman versus Superman because his suit is there.
Yeah. So there's always references to it, but anyway.
But like major, like, hey, this is Dick Grayson Robin. Bam.
For this movie, I mean, how old is he supposed to be? Because he looks 30.
That is a good question. He definitely doesn't look 30. I know you're joking.
No, I know. But like he could be either. He's definitely not fucking 15. Like
I think he's supposed to be like 18 to 19. That's my guess. That's my guess. That is so unconvincing. Maybe 21. He could be.
I don't know, man. It's just annoying to see someone who looks older doing things that you're like, oh, a 15-year-old would be doing this.
Well, that's true of like basically any horror movie, right? Where there's like 30-year-old high school students running around.
Agreed. And I don't like it then. At least in Friday the 13th, they could be college age.
Yeah, they pretend like it's okay.
It's so interesting. I mean, not to get too far off track, because we'll continually do that, but when it gets to the original, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, they're all like 18, 19, 20, playing high schoolers or whatever. And then now it's like, 29, 30, 34. Right. You're like, what the fuck happened?
I know, it's awesome. There's a great Simpsons joke out there where it's like from season 4 or 5, and there's like a benefit going on, and they're like, and look at this guy from like, and it sounds like Melrose Place, something like that. Mm-hmm. And the guy's walking around, and he looks like a teenager, and then he smiles, and he just has crow's feet and wrinkles all over when his skin spreads out for the smile. It's wonderful.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I just find that interesting. But yeah, he looked so much older, and it took me out of it a little bit, where it's like it's just he's an annoying character to me.
That's so interesting. I really liked him in this one.
And I get that I liked the idea of I will say one of my favorite scenes, it's not even him as Batman, it's Val Kilmer, like, trying to convince Robin to stay, and he's like, oh, I have a motorcycle here, you're on low, so I'll put some gas in it, so you can be on your way. Like, he's doing that reverse psychology thing, right. It all makes complete sense, because it's Bruce Wayne being, like, smart. I love seeing a smart Bruce Wayne, like in Batman Returns, where they record the thing or whatever and then play it through the city while he's doing his fucking speech, the Penguin. It's so great because it's like it's smart thinking, and that's the same thing that he does here. And he says to Robin, he's like, oh, I got that's the only one that was made and all that stuff with the motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, oh, you can fix it up and you could have it. And it's just like, oh, I guess I'm gonna stay in the movie for a while.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved that.
Little moments like that are what is missing or are missing. Little moments like that are what are missing. That's what's missing from Batman and Robin.
Yes.
Because that movie is so ridiculous, and there's no time for a moment where he can just manipulate a guy with like some nice dialogue.
And I think it would have sold it more if, Dick Grayson was younger. I mean, it sounds like something that would work on a 17-year-old tops, but he's like 24, and you're just
Wesley's calling me.
Oh, this might be important. Well,
I'm going to answer. Hang on.
Yeah, let's go to a break.
Dude, okay, listen. I'm going to just drop this on you, okay?
Okay.
I think Robin in the movie, Chris O'Donnell, couldn't have been more than 24, honestly. I don't see him being that old in that movie.
Yeah, I know. That's still too old. For me.
I actually think...
I like my boys young.
If that's the case, I think you can age him down to, let's say, 21 at the most, even 22. I was an idiot back then. He could have been traveling with his parents. Anyways, I thought he was fine. I think he was better than what Leonardo DiCaprio would have been, who apparently was in line for the role, as was Marlon Wayans.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
But they were also too old. How
No, they would have worked. I think both of them, they're all in the same age range, just about.
I'm getting a call, too, from a...
Answer it.
No, it's for sure going to be just a robocall or something here.
Ask them what their favorite RoboCop movie is.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Annie, and I'm calling from the Healthcare Enrollment Center. The reason I'm calling today is that there are millions of Americans who are qualified for health insurance.
Well,
I
guess I'm one of them. That's why you're calling.
Yeah. So here's the badass moment. I think Chris O'Donnell pulls it off personally. I think that his whole family, that whole circus scene is amazing.
Yes.
Or at least in
agreed.
the context of the style of the movie. It's a little goofy, quote unquote, but it's also really well done for that style. Seeing his face looking down at his dead family, and he's just holy shit, what the fuck?
Well,
and then Bruce Wayne stands up. I'm sorry. Bruce Wayne also stands up and is just Harvey, I'm Batman. He just immediately selflessly is whatever, but his voice is drowned out.
Well, that was the first I Am Iron Man. That was the first, example of him trying to.
Kind of
the superhero doing that.
But the whole point of I Am Iron Man is that everyone knows that.
I mean, that's what he was trying to do there.
Right.
But it's too busy. Everyone's too screaming. Everyone's screaming too much. Jesus Christ.
If you mix Val Kilmer yelling "I'm Batman" in Batman Forever with Tobey Maguire being unmasked during the train scene in Spider-Man 2, you get the ending of Iron Man.
Fun.
It's an equation for you guys out there.
Wow. Well, it's also a put together video that they just saw.
So I thought that was good, and then the scene that I thought was really fantastic, and is when Batman goes to confront Two-Face. Batman gets exploded out of something, and he gets covered in a bunch of grain, and then you think he's going to suffocate and die, which sucks because then you're how are they ever going to make Batman and Robin? And then you travel back or forward in time, and you realize he should have just died in the grain. Damn.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet, so you're all good still. And all of a sudden that arm reaches into the grain and pulls out Batman, and that music flares up, and Robin's wearing his leotard. Mm-hmm. That's the original Robin, while also being what his parents wore during the circus. It was amazing. That whole thing is really well done for me.
It's a great scene. It's so weird. This movie is so odd because before we go into that scene is great, but the thing that keeps taking me out of the movie is the villains. They're both playing the Joker from '89. That's all they're doing. It's this over the top fucking. I have never seen Tommy Lee Jones be so animated in any movie ever. It's
that is something
much.
I'd love to talk to you about. That is definitely an observation I can agree with you on.
It is so bad, and almost as bad, no, but worse, obviously, is the guy at the beginning who is in the tank, the vault,
security guard.
It's the worst.
Hey,
acting.
That's my hearing aid.
That's my hearing aid.
Oh, it's boiling acid. How does he know these things?
It's coming out of the. It's who fucking loaded the safe with the acid? Oh, it's boiling acid.
I have to say, it's moments like that where I'm I wouldn't say it takes me out of it because the whole movie is so ridiculous. But that, as well as the safe when it flies back into the bank, it's just a perfect trajectory right back into exactly where it was.
So dumb.
I know. It's really weird because it was dumb.
That act, you said you weren't gonna kill me. I mean, whoever the guy is, I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but Jesus Christ, that acting is so bad. We'll just put a smash cut of all of his lines here.
But before you do that, you can throw in my favorite line, one of my favorite lines in a movie, and I no lie, I think about this one. It's when Two-Face is saying, "Another day of wine and roses," or in your case, beer and pizza. Amazing. Love that.
Fortune smiles, another day of wine and roses. Or in your case, beer and pizza.
But you said you'd let me live!
Too true, and so you shall. Nothing better than live bait to
and trap him back.
No! It's a trap!
A glorious flood of chaos. And of course, you, my boy, dead.
Oh no! It's boiling acid!
For your dying pleasure, we are serving the very same acid that made us the men we are today.
No!
Hold on.
Yes!
Give me your hand.
Don't let go!
You're gonna have to borrow this.
Hey! Hey! That's my hearing aid!
Thanks.
Wow! My shoes are melting! No more!
Hang on.
Hang on!
Just the way he says every line. It's too, like, and the shit that Two-Face does. Can we talk about his henchmen? His henchmen disappear in the third act of this movie. Where did they all go?
Didn't they all explode in a car, like during that car chase?
He had so many. I mean, they were. Did you know? I didn't notice this until this time watching this movie. But their
ski masks are
ski
Two-Face.
masks. They're Two-Face ski masks. I never noticed that until this time watching it.
It's hilarious.
It's so dumb, but it that's one thing that works. Everything else, like, there's so many things that work in this movie, and there's so many things where you're like, if I just looked at that, I can see exactly how it's like taking the worst parts of the original Batman, and it's going to become the worst film ever made. I can see, I can pinpoint it, and it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And Jesus Christ, Tommy Lee Jones in this movie, it was fucking. I mean, how can anyone take this guy seriously? He has fucking purple ooze from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on his face, and that's supposed to be an acid burn that made his head go crazy too.
It really, I have to say though, it's unfortunate because a couple things. Tommy Lee Jones seems to give it his all.
He does.
I know he does. He's not a fan of it, and I think he did it for maybe like one of his kids convinced him to do it. I really don't know why. He had a working relationship with Joel Schumacher, which is interesting to me because he's always been in serious movies.
Yeah, he was coming off The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals, and then fucking he does this, and it's
U.S. Marshals came after, just for the record.
Oh, really? Okay, never mind.
But I mean, you're right. I mean, it was like Fugitive. I mean, hell, Coal Miner's Daughter, like JFK. There's that other Oliver Stone war movie. I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, it's only drama movies. And he works with Joel Schumacher on The Client. And then Joel Schumacher's like, bro, I'm taking over Batman Forever. And maybe Tommy Lee Jones is like, oh, great, I see. Tim Burton doesn't want to do it. They're hiring Joel Schumacher. I know him. I'll do it. And then as he's doing it, he's like, oh, this isn't like an adult take on it. It's like a ridiculous take.
And he's like, ooh, what can I do?
Whoops.
Now, are you going to have me have like a green leopard print pant on one side of my clothes?
Our kind of day. Yeah.
Joel and I are sitting around, and I said, well, you know what? Tommy Lee Jones could play this role. Harvey Two-Faces be perfect for him. I called Tommy Lee, I said, we'd done The Fugitive and Under Siege together. I said to him, how would you like to be in a Batman movie? He said, well, send me the script. So I sent him overnight the script. He said, I don't get it. Why do you want me in this picture?
I'd never heard of Harvey Two-Face, even though I'd read the comic books when I was a child. But my son knew who he was immediately and was very enthusiastic about the movie. In fact, he was enthusiastic about it sooner than I was, which is to say instantly. It took me a little bit longer to talk myself into it, and it was his enthusiasm that was decisive for me, really. Ordinarily, I look for certain subtleties. The comic book doesn't concern itself with. So it was liberating, of course, to be a comic book villain.
I love his shoes. He has like silver-tipped shoes.
I know, it's so...
one shoe.
He's got that coin, and it's like...
And he has like a biker glove.
Yes! It's so...
hand.
It's so dumb. It's like... I mean...
No, I'm sorry. It is.
It's like... He chose to look like that on that side. It's so weird.
I know, and...
I just have to say, it's stuff like that in the comics where you're like, this could only work in a comic book. And then you have it like translate to screen, and in this movie there's so much dark, deep, psychological, like, jumping into the mind of Batman. There's so many deleted scenes on the DVD, which I have, by the way. There's one where they built like a replica of a bat, like fucking huge. Its wingspan is like this, and it's just, there's a scene where he's staring at this bat, and it's like reflecting on the mind, and he's trying to figure out, am I Batman? Am I Bruce Wayne? Oh, I realize I'm both. Like that whole scene.
Right.
The scene that happens at the end is an allusion to him having that realization in that room with that bat. And it's deep, dark shit. And then also, live to see another day, or in your case, wine and pizza. Like, what the fuck?
It is weird, and it's funny. You do see that bat in the movie. It's
it's just like
flying during a spotlight. You don't even realize the size of it because it's trimmed to pieces, like the footage. I mean,
yeah, it's supposed to. It's supposed to be like a smaller. It's supposed to be like a regular bat, but that gets closer, and then by the time it gets to Bruce Wayne, it's fucking like 6 feet. It's huge.
It's huge. And it's interesting because I do think I have heard they've been trying to get a work cut of that together, or whatever the phrase is, like
work print.
All the work prints, all the scenes together. Because like, there's one guy that was like, cut out completely. Well, I heard that they're really actually like trying because of Justice League, which would be great. I'd love to see another cut of this movie. I mean, it's a great movie already.
I think there's a good movie.
Would be interesting.
I think there's a good movie in there somewhere. I think this movie is... I think there's a great movie in there somewhere. I think this movie is fine. I think that's my takeaway. I think for everything that's going in, I can see where you're coming from, where it's, like, amazing. But for me, it just... There's some things...
It's not great. It's not actually great, but I just love it. There's so many...
I do, too. I love it. But it's the same reason I love Die Another Day.
I would disagree. I think that this movie nails a tone better than Die Another Day does.
That's for sure.
Die Another Day is like out there flailing. This thing is like, what's up? Like, look at this dick. Like, what's up?
Look at this dick. It's a bat.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Well, there was one thing I wanted to address, which was how both of the villains are so full of antics. And it's kind of unfortunate because they hired Tommy Lee Jones for a reason, and I think that was to play the more dramatic role, because Jim Carrey, I think, nails it as the Riddler.
Yes, he does.
For the tone of the movie that they're going for, he's fucking awesome in this movie. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what
I think I remember seeing this or hearing it, and if it's I'll look it up, but if it's wrong, then I'll put in Kevin Spacey from Superman Returns again, going, wrong! I did that in a previous episode.
Nice.
If I'm wrong, but I think I saw something to the effect of, like, Jim Carrey was hamming it up so much that Tommy Lee Jones thought he had to also.
Oh, really?
That's what I read, but I don't know if it's true. I'll double check, but yeah.
There was a great quote, and I have told you, but I'm telling you this for the sake of the listeners, where Jim Carrey like approached Tommy Lee Jones at a restaurant after filming had been completed, and is like saying hi to him, and Tommy Lee Jones just says, "I do not sanction your buffoonery," which is the greatest thing I could ever hear.
Man, I hope that happened.
I mean, Jim Carrey tells the story. It's out there. And he ends up saying, like, he tries confronting him and, like, saying, well, why? Like, what's wrong? Like, I don't, and instead of leaving it alone. But it's funny.
I'll see if I can find that story, and I'll put it in.
Yeah.
That's what Tommy Lee Jones said to me, too. He said he couldn't sanction my buffoonery.
He couldn't?
He couldn't sanction my buffoonery.
What movie is this?
That's when we did Batman together.
Wait, you're the star, though.
I was the star, yeah. That was the problem. Yeah.
Did you ever have this problem with guys who were like, I'm a better actor than this fucking movie star? Did you ever get that?
No, because there was no me.
Oh, but I mean, the guy that Tommy Lee Jones was talking to.
Oh, the guy that Tommy Lee Jones was talking to was at a restaurant, and the maitre d' said, "Oh, Tommy, I hear you're working with Tommy Lee Jones. He's over in the corner having dinner." And I went over and I said, "Oh yeah, great." I went over and I said, "Hey Tommy, how you doing?" Like that, and the blood just drained from his face, like he had been thinking about me 24 hours.
You'd already done the movie.
It was just fucking no. It was before the biggest scene we have together in the movie, and the blood just drained from his face, and he started shaking, and he got up and he went like this. He must have been in mid kill me fantasy or something like that. He was like like this, and he went like to hug me, and he said, "I hate you. I really don't like you," like that. and I said, "Gee, man, what's the problem?" Like that. And I pulled up a chair, which probably wasn't smart. And he said, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
My theory on that would be that he's a famous guy. He used to be the center of attention. You walk into a room, he's not the center of attention.
Well, he might have been uncomfortable doing that work, too. That's not really his style of stuff. You know what I mean?
He's
like No Country for Old Men.
He cashed the check, baby.
That's right.
For playing Harvey Dent.
That's right.
He was playing Harvey Dent.
That's right.
I just guessed.
No, you were
right. A great guess. That's
absolutely.
Right.
Nice job. It was a cookie.
But yeah, that's crazy. He would think he'd want to compete. It's Jim Carrey. Like, I don't know if you know this guy, but at the time, you can't compete with someone of that level of fame for what they're famous for, like that energy level. And he's Tommy Lee Jones. Like, bro, you're in The Fugitive. Like, just be the guy in The Fugitive, but with like a ridiculous face on.
Well, there's no. That's the thing with Two-Face that's a bummer, is the movie was supposed to open with him breaking out of Arkham, and it was going to have that like dark tone, and it's on the DVD. I can put some
things. The scene is there. It exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see that. But yeah, it's so weird because like it's clearly going for a certain tone, and then it seems like in the editing it got shifted somehow. I mean,
it had to have been the like studio interference, right? I mean, it had to have been. Cut out some of the darker parts, make it more
do some reshoots,
accessible for kids. Yeah, whatever.
We gotta change the destruction of the Batcave is probably one of my least favorite moments in cinema.
Really?
Because it's like it's Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand about his character. He is sucking the IQ out of people's brains and becoming smarter, but he's acting more crazy. So, but
exactly.
But it's almost like his craziness is just him trying to be more funny, but it's not. Like he's like, you know, doing the baseball thing, and then he's got like the chew thing, and then he like throws it and blows up the thing, and then he like thrusts the air when the explosions happen, and it's like it's like his craziness is just like, look how funny I've become, And it's like, who are you doing this for? Like,
well, you've tapped into Jim Carrey's later career, certainly.
Yes, it's almost like Jim Carrey's a time traveler.
Yeah, I know. That's basically what you're talking about.
It's so strange. Like, what if you watch it, you're like, oh, this is a movie. I understand that it's happening. But if you take a step back and look at it from like, why is the character doing this? Is it for your own pleasure? It's so interesting to watch. I think this movie, that's what I'm deciding, is that this movie is such a fascinating watch. It's so fun to watch.
I think you could chalk up those mannerisms to his character, though. I mean, he has displayed himself to be
that is
like
true.
Crazy, but also like pretty, I don't know, like manic in his antics.
That is true. If he's alone, he's been doing these things the entire fucking movie.
Yeah,
so that
like
makes
he's
sense.
singing when he ties the guy up to the seat to throw him out, and I don't know, maybe something sort of snaps and he just fully is in this role of like, I'm like zany, I don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I gotta pee.
Okay, that's fine. We you do that, but we're gonna go soon, just so you know. Just
okay,
saying.
Give me 3 minutes.
Bye.
I'm kidding. Very nice. High five.
I liked the movie. I
did too. I liked it.
That was funny.
I thought it was great.
Okay,
yeah,
so
we're back.
Here's the deal, everyone. We're gonna wrap up this episode. We'll probably talk a little bit more about it next week, honestly, before getting into Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I have more to say. I mean, I think this movie is pretty
wonderful. The score is fantastic.
The score is the best thing about it. I mean, it transcends it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's funny too. I watched it. I'm sure you probably did, but it was a documentary that was included on the. Well, I have the Blu-ray, but it's on the. I'm assuming it's on the DVD as well. 'Cause it's like DVD era.
Yep.
It's Elliot Goldenthal, and he's saying. Well, when I was hired to do it, I was thinking, like, what would the theme sound like? And I started thinking about, like, what kids would do if they're playing with, like, action figures. And it'd be like, you know, do, 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 do. I'm like, oh, my God, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's perfect, and it's so great.
No, Batman. Yes, Two-Face. Do, 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 do. Yeah, it's...
For the opening title theme, I wanted to have a sense of power and flight. Also, I was trying to remember myself as, you know, like a little child playing with maybe little Batman toys, and I was thinking, what do little children sing? They sing their own scores, you know? If you watch kids play, they're composing their own music. And I was going, yeah. And this is what children do. And so in working that kind of first impulse out, I got on the piano and then said, what was I doing as that little kid just then? If you play it as a march, it's very heroic.
I can't wait to talk more about this because I would love to talk more about Two-Face's food choices. That's my next thing.
Fuck, I totally forgot about that. I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring up, we have so much to talk about. And we got to talk about Val Kilmer because he fucking kills it in this movie, too.
I miss Val Kilmer. I know he had throat cancer, which sucks.
Yeah.
But even before that, his career had stalled. And
well, the last thing he did was like the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I fucking loved. Yeah.
There were a couple ones so that was really good. Like in the mid 2000s, he did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. The Salton Sea is actually a pretty solid movie.
Never saw it. Chaos Experiment.
That's not worth talking about.
No, I know, but that's another example.
The other one was Spartan, which was a David Mamet movie.
Oh.
And those of our loyal listeners will probably know David Mamet as like the New York playwright who's like super famous for his witty dialogue. He did The Untouchables.
Oh, he also did Edmund, right?
Yes, Edmund, the craziest movie I've ever seen in my life, Edmund.
Yep. William H. Macy just stabs Julia Stiles to death while he's talking.
And that's not the craziest part of the movie. That ending I still think about that ending of that movie because I'm just like, what the fuck was that?
Dude,
that was the craziest movie.
I own it. I should watch it again.
I'd like to watch that again because that was Stuart Gordon, director of Reanimator, did that movie.
Really?
Yeah. So one of those random movies that he directed. I don't know why.
I can't believe I own it. I wonder how much that's worth.
Nothing. I bet you it's worth something because nobody remembers this movie. It's one of those movies that was like, it was just flushed out, and I don't know how no one watched it. It's Stuart Gordon, it's David Mamet, it's William H. Macy, it's Julia Stiles.
Isn't Mina Suvari in that movie too?
I don't remember. I know it was a cast of mostly like women actresses.
Yeah, it's like women that he like fucking creeps out because he's like, I can't believe that this and that and this.
Yeah, and then I guess he gets in touch with like a Nazi guy at one point, and that's where he gets that knife, the trench knife, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
But
anyway,
I can't believe I remember so many details about this all of a sudden. But
I don't. I literally just remember the end and then Julia Stiles.
Yeah, Bokeem Woodbine's in it. I'm like, how is this gonna end? I see. It's like a fun version of Shawshank where he's in prison, but he's like chill with it. Yeah. Is that too much of a spoiler? Sorry, everybody.
He's in prison because he's supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's like the exact opposite of Shawshank.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll definitely get into that. There's so much to unpack. Spartan, good movie though, good movie. And he was in MacGruber. I mean, damn, what a run he had there. It's basically okay. Sorry, it's The Saint that ruined it. I don't know. I like The Saint, but maybe that's what it was.
No, because The Saint. Oh yeah, in the '90s for sure. But,
well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out when his star kind of started to deflate, you know? Because, like, Spartan's not a big movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's not a big movie.
No.
None of these movies are at all big movies. It was like Batman Forever, The Saint, and then, like, a flat line, basically.
Well, he turned down Batman and Robin to be in The Saint. I do know that. And
which was honestly a major win, all things considered. Or at least a wash.
For you like The Saint. I don't remember it.
You should watch it. It's like it's a good movie. It was on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore, which kind of sucks. But
I should watch that. But yeah, that was the thing. Is like I think that's the last movie he made in the '90s. I feel like it
kind of feels like it, and that was a big budget movie. Like he turned down Batman and Robin to do another like Mission Impossible style movie.
Yeah,
and it just failed. I guess I don't know. It's weird.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right, but I'm gonna go watch the Colts and the Titans.
Okay. Well, hopefully the team you want to win wins.
Yeah, I don't care either way. I'm just in for a good time. So you're number one in the league. I don't know if you've checked, but you are number one, you asshole.
I forgot. Hold on. I'll check it now.
Please check.
You're like
free to rename your team. You don't have to, but
what's the team name?
Well, you're just check number one, and then that's you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to pull up mine, and then I'm going to get fireworks and confetti because I won.
That's exactly right, actually. Yeah.
Rare Form, that's what it is. But
exactly.
4ORM.
Yeah, that's our co-host Robert's old team. Well, frequent guest. Well, he's a guest twice. That's a frequent guest. We only have guests on like twice at the most.
Oh, I got to replace this guy. All right, well, everybody, thank you. If you're still watching and listening, make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on, and let us know what you think of Batman Forever. And we're still not done talking about it. Maybe we'll bring up what you say on the next episode. That would be great.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All right. Deuces, love you. Peace and love. Be safe.
I'm Gerrit.
And I'm Kevwev.
Kevwev.
And this is the Kevweverit. Kevweverit.
And something cereal.
It's a presentation. Okay. Bye.
Bye, bud. Enjoy the game. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.